Welcome back, dear viewers. You're still watching The Breakfast Show, and I believe we're being joined now live over the phone once again by Dr. Pacinthe Fahmy. Yeah, Doctor, I was asking about the importance of the future project for agricultural production and its importance for the Egyptian economy.
The strategy is basically to have mega projects in the agribusiness field, then to have next to it industries based on the products produced by those mega projects. That's a very optimistic strategy, and it will have a great impact on the Egyptian economy, because not only it will create new supply for our needs, but it will create as well, we will be able to develop new cities based on that agriculture strategy. And then those cities will have as well industries next to them. We will be able to export, and the impact has been seen clearly on the level of reserves at the central bank. When we look at the foreign reserves now at the central bank, we can see clearly that our export has increased from the agribusiness. The import decreased totally. We were able as well to develop new cities next to those areas. We can reclaim millions of land in Egypt, and in that, with that type of strategy, we can become a supplier for the region for major crops and major agriculture products. We can become as well a supplier to the world for major, not only agriculture business, but on the, as you say, the textile, for instance, is based on cotton. The oil is based on many agricultural products. So it is very important strategy which will change totally all the indices of the Egyptian economy, and we have been seeing this clearly, to become, as I said, a major supplier of food and agricultural products for the region and for the world. So we will continue to do that, and it's not going to be only the agribusiness, but it will be as well the blue economy. We are surrounded by water. We have the Red Sea, we have the Mediterranean, we have the River Nile. So we can as well develop that strategy of green economy so that Egypt will become not only sufficient but a major exporter as we used to be for many years in the past. And obviously this will have a very, very positive impact on our economy, inshallah.
Doctor, about providing job opportunities, do you believe that this project would pave the way for creating more job opportunities for the Egyptian youth and for Egyptians in general?
There is nothing more than agribusiness which could create jobs for everybody. And when I say jobs, it's not only in the green economy, it's not only in agriculture, but in the major cities which will be developed. We have 14 cities which will be developed on the row. Then we will have 50% of our population are young. They can work in that type of development, and they can work as well in a sustainable development economy for the coming period based on industries coming out of the agribusiness and the agribusiness projects themselves. So we live on 7% of our land. The plan is to reach 30% by 2030, and all this will create jobs and job opportunities, will create as well a different standards of living, because new cities are being built on a very modern and advanced way, which could create an acceptable and not only developing economy, but develop a standard of living for the Egyptians, which could suit the change which is happening in the world. The world is changing, and we are changing with the world. We're building state-of-the-art cities, very advanced, highly technical. So in all aspects, yes, it will create jobs. It will create a different standard of living as well. And we will, inshallah, become a major economic power in the region.
Dr. Pacinthe, what do you think is the role of the private sector here in such projects? What could be their contribution?
We need to have all forces in Egypt working, public sector, private sector, the army, And we need as well to have cooperation with the big multinational companies who are specialized in their field, because agribusiness and agriculture is not like before. As you see, we need to have very advanced tools to work with. We need to have technology to apply it when we go into industry. So the cooperation between the private sector, public sector, and we call it the PPP, public-private partnership. And when we say private sector, we don't mean only local private sector, but we mean as well international companies who could help us, like you see, the technology, develop our land, and who could help us as well when we want to export to major markets in the world. Because the multinationals do not have only the technology, but they have as well the market. They know where to sell, how to sell, how much the product will be priced. So the public-private partnership will always be the strategy for Egypt, as it has been always be there. Egypt has a lot of resources, but we have as well very highly qualified business people who know how to cooperate with the multinational companies worldwide to develop our land. And I repeat, technology is the language of the new world. We cannot really work without the private sector, and as well without the cooperation with the multinational or the cross-border companies all over the world.
Dr. Pacinthe Fahmy, economic expert, as always, really appreciate your insight and your contribution on the breakfast show. And dear viewers,
have a good day.
You too. Thank you so much, Doctor. And dear viewers, by this, we come to the end of today's episode of the Breakfast Show. Just a quick recap of what we discussed. We talked about the digital transformation, and we also talked about President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi's inspection of the future project for agricultural production. And dear viewers, you were in the company of myself and my dear colleague, Dina Hussein. Until we meet again, this is goodbye.